guys, welcome back to Occultists Anonymous, episode 85. I only really save the ones that are like a nice big round number or the fives. I don't know, whatever. Brought to you by Roll20, The Onyx Path, and viewers like you. Thank you to our supporters on Patreon who support us. We're actually just talking about the character art that we're commissioning because of you guys. Thank you very, very much. Because, you know, an individual person getting one thing of art is, you know, kind of on the expensive side. Doing it for 3 characters, potentially a 4th with a variation, and potentially I'd like to start doing even side characters. Some of our regulars like Gabe and Network and Titus and Steven and Christopher Wallace, and I want all of them. But we're not going to worry about that right now. Yeah, Pokemon indeed. All my NPCs, all my little babies. So yeah, and that's because of Patreon. That's because of you guys giving us little support and stuff like that. It means a lot to us. Specifically, shout outs to Cat Feathers, Noba, Giovanni, Brendan, Alexander, Emil, Other Michael, Badur, Adam, The Original Michael, Puppeteer, Cinna, Melissa, Moku, Alan Michael, Sebastian, Schmitty, Thomas, Josh, Perry, James, Doc, Roy Vescrad, Bernie, John Hall, and Ryan. John, I don't know why I threw your last name in there, but I did.
Sorry.
Yeah, so thank you guys for your support. When we last left, Network, almost said Jimmy, summoned an imp. Wasn't supposed to, but whatever, house rule, deal with it. Got some information. Factory had her mind blown chatting with Atratus about this new legacy. Right, where were we? Oh, no big deal. Songbird going to talk to Red Dread. I'm sure it's fine. And I forgot. Wyrd found out where her coin is. It's with Christopher Wallace.
Not Christopher Walken.
No. Though he was walking.
That would be very cool.
Oh my god, no. I'm not quite ready to bring in real celebrities into this.
Real people as mages.
Yeah.
I found this coin. It's just amazing.
Your father gave this coin.
Oh god. Okay. Interestingly, where would you meet up with Red Dread and the rest of the gang?
You make it sound like there's Scooby.
Yeah, and the rest of the gang. Actually, yeah, there is a place in the armory where, generally speaking, Songbird has had no reason to go. He's been there before, but it is definitely a operations center of sorts. Maps.
Is there a map?
Yeah, maps, chalkboards.
Little figures on it.
Not quite that to that degree the map is up, but it is like if somebody were to come find it, it would almost look like a bunch of nerds' game room in terms of there's nothing really like high tech. There's nothing really, of that. But yeah, if they started to look around and be like, there's all sorts of little points on the map and, on the,
can't bring him in here. This is the war room.
Right.
We'll see the big board.
Yep, exactly that. And so, yeah, Red Dread, especially since, you basically say, hey, Hadromiel told me that, I'm going to be involved in this. So, can we chat? Something like that. And yeah, you basically Red Dread basically tells you a time to arrive. It's late afternoon before dinner. And when you arrive, Pip, Moonkeeper, and Red Dread are there kind of seated at a place, and it doesn't look like there's a lot of stuff laid out. It's not like they're actively planning, like there's no like blueprints of a compound or anything like that.
They're not like playing Warhammer or anything.
Right. But as you kind of arrive, there's definitely, like even from Pip, there's a bit of an icy kind of edge to you walking in. They kind of motion to a chair and say, yeah, actually, I think Red Dread says, sit down, Banner Warden. And
squeak.
So Hadromiel has told me that you apparently he wants a Obrimos to be included and that he volunteered you rather than himself which I guess makes sense. I mean, there's probably some more first Talons who are a little more experienced, but you've been actively involved. This is your territory, so I will allow it. But he quotes Star Wars, but not quite. You have a seat here, but you are not.
We do not grant you the right to master.
And
Songbird wouldn't get it anyway.
Right.
So he's like, well, yeah, I don't have 5 dots.
Yeah.
Take a seat, Songbird. Yeah.
Yep. So we are at this point waiting on Moonkeeper's divinations to determine the appropriate day and time to strike when he will be vulnerable and we will get a fortuitous outcome. The current plan is that we will travel through the shadow because remember that Red and Pip are both Thyrsus.
Right.
So we will travel through the shadow and then step through into his stronghold. He has a penthouse, pick a big building, right? And we will step through. We will bring spirits to cause a ruckus within the twilight, handle, basically, hopefully, get us past any kind of mundane resistance without needing to cast spells. And bluntly, and then Moonkeeper kind of, chimes in, we're trying to figure out the best way to send a brutal message. Do you have any particular input?
Well, I mean, I'm kind of just good at the physicality. The thought had occurred to me that I did bring something back from Philadelphia, which is flashy and brutal.
Pip goes, very flashy, incineraty lightning sends a message, especially if folks see it. Oh, and actually, and because I'm going to ask Chris this because I'm remember because if it provokes paradox, it's not an active hubris on you. The people just suffer breaking points, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on who's around and stuff.
Right. So, but no, that's actually very true. If we lay low any mundane guards and leave some ghouls and vampires to see a mage in glowing armor and throwing lightning, though, and Red was, a little less, stoked at the ideas as we were more thinking of just fire. They're not big fans, and
Sure.
It is something that we have pretty good control of when we were thinking of summoning forth fire spirits, but, well, you are here now. How's your forces, Songbird?
Guess you'd call it. Oh shit! I forget what the in-game
Discipline
term for
isn't it?
3 dots is.
Is it discipline? Disciple?
The disciple.
Yeah.
Disciple level
Because
majesty?
adept is 4th, so.
Yeah.
And so.
Perfecting and.
Okay. So yeah. Bring a.
I mean, if we start a fire, I can make it go out of control.
Right. Which.
Can you not make fire at 3?
Mm-mm.
Can't make until 5.
Well, I mean,
can convert
It's
at
fire.
4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can
4
you not
is,
make it out of electricity?
that's at 4.
yeah.
You-
4 dots is transform energy, where you turn a stadium lights into a boiling hot pit of fire.
or turn all the lights in the room or all the sound in the room into a silent inferno of
I just meant make a fire start.
Nope. You would need 4.
Because at 3 dots, all you've got is perfecting, so you're still working with something that's there.
Now you
Yeah,
could
no, I
take,
was thinking, I mean, you're working with like the electricity in the building. Like grab it, start an electrical fire.
right. You could
Yeah,
Make it
you
potentially
can do
spark.
that for sure.
yeah,
But
but you
just,
could
like-
make fire.
A fire.
Well, yeah.
So yeah, okay, we can do that. I mean, we could actually do it more subtly and have just a terrible, terrible accident where, fire just, lights that entire penthouse and only the penthouse? Such a odd coincidence, maybe? And Moonkeeper, being an acanthus, goes indirect action. Yes. But I will add that to my divinations. And Red Dread, kind of cutting it short, goes, good, yeah, do that. You kind of look into that.
Are you not going to bring up your make a sword of sunlight? Because you can do that now, right?
I mean, yeah. So it's far be it from my place to suggest a whole plan of action or anything, but it feels rather impersonal way to do such a mission, to just burn him to death while we watch.
You have another idea?
Well, I haven't tested it yet, but the idea would be that you could put sunlight into our weapons with forces and matter.
And Pip goes, a lightsaber?
More, yeah, more like just the proper. Yeah, I mean, this is that Star Wars thing you all keep referencing. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. With the
Lasers.
yeah. Okay. With the aliens and stuff.
Yes,
Sure.
Songbird. But yeah, Red Dread, kind of cuts short and says, actually, that might actually leave quite a message to leave the leech impaled on a weapon made wholly of light and steel and just leave it in
Capital
him.
H holy.
Correct.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Obrimos. But leave him impaled upon... Actually, that is very appropriate for a leech. Impaled on, a stake of light, and just leave it there for them to find and squirm at, and not even be able to recover his ashen body for... you can probably handle a week, right?
Easily.
I actually kind of like that. Add that to your divinations, Moonkeeper. And Moonkeeper pulls out a clipboard and flips back multiple pages and writes stuff down. Yeah, definitely get the idea that Moonkeeper spends a lot of his days right now just casting divination after divination.
Doing what Red Dread says.
Yep.
Is he
Well,
their
that
only
too.
acanthus?
No, but
No.
he's the one
He's
at the top.
He's the big one.
Yeah. Yeah, he's both the counselor and probably one of the most skilled acanthi, acanthoi, whatever, in the arrow. And we're talking about privileged knowledge. Most of the mages have no idea that this is even happening.
Right.
And so, good. All right. Well, yeah. Add those to the list of questions to ask the fates. Big eye roll. But then, yeah, full of opinions, aren't you, Songbird?
What?
Well, Moonkeeper and Pip shared your need to mouth off to the hierarch and the counselors about El Dorado. So what is this all about? Originally, speaking with you, you sounded like a fine, upstanding member of the Concilium and wanted to see its growth and rise back to prominence.
I do. I don't feel that I've done anything to counteract that.
Well, I mean, you... And kind of looks over at Pip and Moonkeeper, who... Moonkeeper is nodding, and Pip looks a little more sheepish. But, I mean, you brought forth a gift, a boon, an armory of stuff, and apparently we're now going to share it with a Mysterium caucus in Mexico, instead of, claiming it. You were the one who, when we first were discussing this, was making comments about it being rather, what was the term you used? Colonial. Yeah, to lay claim to it. It's mage. How does he put it? It is the things of the wise. We are the wise. This isn't colonial. This is just reclaiming what is already ours. There's no need that we have to share it. But regardless, the hierarch has already agreed to your demands. But I thought you were, trying to think of the term he would use. I guess upstanding and, member of the Concilium, and wanted to see the growth of this Concilium.
I do, and I am. Again, I'll repeat myself. I do not feel that I've done anything that harms or endangers the Concilium, nor its growth. I have put my body and my magic on the line many times in the last 2 months as a part of this cabal that I've joined.
Yeah, let's actually talk about that now that you've brought it up. So you put your life on the lines for... And I understand you're part of a Mysterium caucus, or a Mysterium cabal, and you're gathering grimoires, which, as I understand it, and kind of looks again to Pip and Moonkeeper, you have returned one grimoire that was already ours, Bully, a broken man who contains a grimoire within himself, now a storybook grimoire. As I understand it, none of which have any real amazing properties. A little extra oomph to them. I was led to believe that this cabal was going to bring things forth to the Mysterium, to this Concilium, that were going to restore our glory. I almost said the other phrase. And now it's turned out to be a load of esoteric bullcrap, which I appreciate the fact that we have more knowledge back. We are gathering some things, but at this point, wondering what we're doing that the Mysterium could not be doing themselves. Go get that Shauna to replace you. We can put you to, more useful tasks as part of an arrow cabal, and maybe get your head on straight.
Good thing I'm not there.
Well, we don't know what these will do when they've been unlocked. But, I mean, a complete set of these are not just grimoires with extra oomph. They're every bit of... Fuck, I lost the goddamn word. Starts with A. Artifact.
Oh,
I don't know why I lost that. They're every bit of a set of artifacts created by an archmage out there The same one that veiled the temple that we were just speaking of.
My point is, you aren't necessary for that. At this point, I can't take you away from that cabal. You've made oaths to each other, you've established yourselves, and it would be poor of me to pull you out of a cabal. But at this point, I'm failing to see, the use of that cabal to this concilium so far. Now, I will still withhold judgment until all 5 grimoires are brought together and we see some amazing use, but I mean, the fact that they were built by an archmage and supernal could still lead us to some ridiculously esoteric and... I'm trying to think of a term that he uses that's not arcane, because that has a whole other thing within mage, but an esoteric and bizarre set of circumstances. For all we know, we bring them together and it opens a portal to his golden road, and that probably will just piss him off more than help us.
Sure.
Whereas you could be working at this point, training others. Instead, you're walking around with a bunch of book-hugging nerds.
Nerds.
I'm sure he probably has a better term than nerds, but...
Make sure he doesn't just say nerds.
Especially the guy that just was talking about fucking Star Wars.
Right. Well, he has yet to make a Star Wars reference. I'm accidentally quoting.
Sure. Well...
Pip has done it canonically, though.
Correct.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, let's see how you feel after our next journey, which I actually came to get advice about.
When are you going on this journey?
Don't know. We're in a sort of research and figuring out a plan stage right now. But I will not go until we have solved the vampire problem.
Okay. At least you have those priorities straight.
What a dick.
I am liking him less and less.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Red Dread has never been
This was
likable.
always here. This was always been here.
Yeah, Red Dread is... I mean, guys, his name is Red Dread.
Mhm.
His Nimbus is holding back a beast. Since you've already agreed, I don't think he's going to need to... you don't need to do that, but...
Agreed to what?
To not leave until the vampire threat.
That's fine.
And he kind of looks over at Moonkeeper and says, "Oh yes," and add that to the divinations that Songbird will be joining us. That may adjust things as well. He's like, "Yep, no, already calculated for that." Does he use calculated? Yeah, he probably does. But Red Dread kind of looks and says, "I'm just disappointed. And I'm hoping that once you've gathered these 5, or at least this next one, you'll put some thought into, guiding your cabal to finding something more useful. I mean, when you went and got the Drazan's Codex back, you brought back, a suit of armor that, while a little bit, overt, is at least a useful weapon and a signed. I mean, go search for some artifacts of, tremendous power or something like that. I'm sure the Mysterium would be happy to find anything like that, and we would be happy to have something of tremendous power, because currently our armory is, well, just things made. Kind of looking at Pip, and it's known that, like, you guys have a well-stocked armory, between the various Forge Masters and Pip and Colossus. Like, you guys have a bunch of stuff, but it's all made, as opposed to the, power that, artifacts have. So.
I mean, do we not bring back the cup?
the cup
to
is
him.
back over in.
Oh, right,
India.
they kept it, right?
Yeah, because you guys
Oh.
were like, we don't want this, and they were like,
We have joint
Well,
custody
no, we
of it.
said, hey, we kind of want this. And then
We
they're
have
like,
joint
"Well."
custody.
yeah. Yeah, it was more that you guys knew it was nasty. So, but oh my gosh, what was that? Oh yeah, yeah. So no artifacts.
If
Oh.
there's not something to bring back from this next place, I would be surprised.
Oh, do you
I
have
have
some?
I have every indication that it aligns with my path. It is a temple of this Kali. Is that right?
I believe so. Double checking real quick.
Because we
Kokur.
found out at least that much, right?
Yeah. Kokur. Blah 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 blah. Well, scroll. History of research, religion, Kokur, Shivalingas. Well, we'll say yes because I can't find anything. But yeah, I believe it was.
Okay.
Because it lined up surprisingly well.
Sure.
But yes.
But a temple to the goddess of destruction, housing a bound.
Oh, and like
With-
all three of them kind of. What?
with abyssal intrusions surrounding it.
That's a little bit more impressive than the last few visits.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's what I thought too. Especially when it came from the mouth of a Praetorian from Seattle.
Okay. Are you going to be adding another notch to your scoreboard?
Aether willing.
Okay. Well, Red looks a little not mollified, but little happier at that, and says, "Well, at least you haven't lost all your, spark." But yeah, especially as door warden of your cabal, as the banner warden, see if you can grab hold of that rudder and steer your cabal towards, something more temporally useful than
Sure.
just knowledge.
wait,
Hopefully, this
I mean-
grimoire is.
We're supposed to have a rudder.
Yeah,
mean,
tell that to me.
Had
Just more useful than knowledge.
I succeeded in El Dorado, I'm sure my personality would have lent itself to a choice of that
It's true.
nature.
Yes.
So it's not the same kind of failure that you were speaking of
Right.
that has
Actually,
prevented it.
go ahead and roll presence plus persuasion. I think at a -2. Unfortunately, I'm not telling you what this is exactly going to be tied to, but cool.
Got a 1.
Yeah,
Got the 1.
8 dice, 1 success. Songbird is back.
We're back, baby.
But yeah, Red nods, says, "Okay. I feel a little better having this conversation. I'm still not pleased, but at least it sounds like you were at least still aligned with our goals."
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, and kind of Redred kind of looks to Pip and Moonkeeper, who've been kind of like quiet, sitting back. Pip especially, because Pip likes you, and says, "Well, if this council has no further ideas or things to bring up, I think we are adjourned." And Pip is like, "Yep, no, I'm good." Moonkeeper is a little bit, and yeah, Pip heads out, possibly with you. I don't know. Moonkeeper kind of hovers around with Redred, and then kind of they end up leaving eventually. But
Fuck that guy.
So Pip likes you, but not enough to speak up on your behalf. in front
Oh
of
yeah,
Red
for
Red.
sure.
I mean, not against Red Dread. Is he like the boss of the arrows?
Yeah.
He rules he the entire caucus.
Adamant Sage.
And he runs the entire caucus.
He's what, Gnosis 7 or some shit?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has some force of personality.
Yeah.
Fuck you, old man.
He's a badass, but he's a little bit out of it's been a while since he's been.
I kind of want to talk to Colossus and Pip, like, after this, but I also don't want to take the whole episode, so let's jump to somebody else.
Yep.
See what Wyrd's doing. Summoning Moira?
No, not yet.
No?
No. But I did want to have coffee.
What
with
is
him.
Moira up to? Oh, yes, coffee.
Yep. So we meet at a place called Witchcraft.
Because, damn it, I want to go to
Wyrd's
Witchcraft.
favorite restaurant.
It's a sandwich shop, yeah.
It is a sandwich shop, yeah. So can you talk to me about the Ebon Phoenix a bit?
Sure. We are, yeah, focused around dealing with issues people might have and helping you confront them and work through your problems. If you need, well, can't do it yet, but more advanced ones could actually excise things that couldn't be handled, or summon or make companions for you to help you deal with things. That's what the golems were. People would put Glacia in them to sort of be assistants.
Okay.
But it's mostly about fixing your problems, helping you work through issues in your soul.
Actually, amusingly, very, very Kintsugi style stuff. It's like, yep, you're broken. We're going to make it
You
better.
take something broken and we make it something new. Make it better.
That's kind of what I'm looking for.
Okay.
Recent events with Scopetus have sort of underlined for me that I need to do some housekeeping. And I was hoping I could get some assistance with that. I understand you probably can't bring anything out, right? But maybe we can go in.
Not yet, no. I can help you in any way I can. Let's see. Actually, where? I don't have this written down anywhere helpful. I'm just trying to see what my earlier ones, if they could actually help me right now.
Oops. I can spell Phoenix correctly. There we go. Because you have Mind 3, right?
2.
Mind 2, that's right. We haven't got to Mind 3 yet.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you've got the Perfect Recall, Forensic Gaze, but then also Mental Scan.
And the Soul Marks.
And Soul Marks.
Okay. I talked to a while ago about that I feel like I'm heading for a crossroads.
Mm-hmm.
And it's getting closer and I need to be ready when it gets here.
Okay.
Part of that is the Moira summoning that I'm planning on doing. But before I do that, I think I need to clean house. There's some old scars I've got to deal with.
Can I look at your soul?
Okay. It's pretty messy, but sure.
Okay. So what would soul marks tell me if I just do it through the legacy attainment?
Yeah. So how many dots do you have in death? 4, right?
4, yeah.
And Wyrd has how much resolve?
2.
Okay, yeah. So
Wyrd can voluntarily.
Oh, that's true.
We don't have to resist.
That's correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you can ask 4 questions presence of persistent conditions, if they're awakened, we know that one. If they're a supernatural being, if they've created a soul stone, if they have their soul tampered with, if they're possessed, presence of any legacy attainments, if they've eaten or otherwise consumed another soul, or if they're suffering from paradox condition. If you're like looking for more like traumatic event type stuff, that's going to be more of telepathy, or I think there's basically mental scan. Well, no.
That's what you're currently thinking.
Yep.
I'm trying to see what is broken about this soul.
So many things.
Assessing the health of this soul. What does it look like?
Yeah. Using the actually, especially with, I think, and this is something because Ebon Phoenix, for those of you who don't know, is a homebrew thing for me, and so that actually, now that you brought it up, probably needs to get a little tweaked. Yeah, because right now it doesn't actually serve a lot of purpose.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's definitely I think the big thing, and Craig, feel free to chime in, but yeah, there's definitely some not childhood trauma, but some trauma from actually there is childhood trauma if I remember correctly, and then there's a more recent trauma, and then on top of that a very troubled awakening. But without digging deeper, you don't necessarily know what that is. But there's like these probably 3 big marks, I think, Craig?
Yeah.
Well, there's a bunch of little ones from formative years. There's a massive one from adolescence, and then the awakening. And then I don't know if there would be trauma from the recent stuff. That's more like just I went away and then came back. So that's probably
right.
So that would be the big 3.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So it's a mess.
Has their soul been tampered with, or was this all naturally occurring traumas?
Nope. It's just all, living life.
Okay. Well, again, I can't do the super helpful things yet, unfortunately. That requires more studied in mind.
But dealing with Goetia and stuff, that's a mind thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you could be pretty useful if we went in.
I could probably help. Again, I'm only mind 2, not
I mean, even something like a mind compelling on a Goetia.
Yeah.
To subtly change it or influence
I can't control them, but I could help.
Yep. And if nothing else, I mean, with Mind 2, you have actual mental shield.
I have a lot of rage.
Mm-hmm.
Probably know that going in. I keep a very tight lid on it because it frankly terrifies me. And it stems from a lot of things, but the main root of it is the thing that got highlighted just recently. That's what I need help in. I don't want to necessarily take anything away or rip it out, but definitely changing it is something I need to do.
Like changing the way you think about it?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really like the idea of it, but if nothing else, I could put it away.
Yeah, I don't know if that would serve either, but...
I mean, have memory hole. I can just get rid of it. But that's not dealing with it.
Yeah. No, I think I need to deal with it if I'm going to move on. It's important.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I change memories?
Say it again?
I was going to see, I was like, can I actually change a memory? I think that's higher level.
It is actually read the depths. Yep. So 3 dots mind. Yep. Well, once you hit 3 dots, that's when you can start actually.
Surprise!
changing.
3 dots lets you do the things that the
That's cool
Arcana
things,
does.
yeah.
Yep. So. Because meta wise, I know you guys are going to do this soon. But do you guys make, okay, let's do it, whenever, a specific time or date or anything like that? Because I know basically this is what we're going to do next session. So imagine you guys make some plans to do that soon. Is there any other stuff that you guys do in preparation for that, or?
Just, this is pretty navel-gazy. I don't know that Songbird would necessarily be into this sort of activity. So that's,
do you want to ask?
I'm not trying to cut him out or anything. I just don't think he would.
Yeah. No, I agree. It doesn't super sound like his thing, but it seems like to ask. Or
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, I'll throw it past him.
Okay.
It might be a little feely, but okay. Thanks in advance, and I hope nothing bad happens.
Yeah, that's not ominous at all. Thanks.
Well, bear in mind, anything bad that happens, Atratus pops out and gets soul shocked and no big deal. You, however, Wyrd is the one who has to deal with the permanent,
Yeah.
Again, if all else fails, we can lock it up and deal with it later.
I suppose. I don't know
It's
if that
just
would allow the moving forward to happen, though.
The way your brain works, it's not there anymore. But, yeah, it's just that right now I don't have all of the skills necessary to
I'm not a fully
really
licensed.
fix this. Yeah, I'm not a fully licensed Devin Phoenix yet, okay?
I'm aware enough of myself to know that this is tied to a foundational pillar of my character.
Have you seen, an actual therapist? Like a real-life therapist?
No.
You can still
Would
do
you like
that.
to? That might help.
It never occurred to me to try that way. I think this would probably be just the most expedient.
Hopping into your soul with a barely trained magic therapist versus, talking it out like a normal person.
I love this because it's like the same conversation almost that Songbird was just having of like, can you do this? I don't know. Should I? Should I just bring a flamethrower and set him on fire? Probably.
One thing
But we're going to do magic, folks.
Yeah, I'm going to point out, folks at home, if you have any qualms, problems, or anything like that, seriously, go see a therapist. Talk to somebody.
See a therapist.
But this is Mage, so we're not going to go see a therapist.
So no, we're going to do
we have
the
magic.
silly thing and hop into a soul and try to magic it better.
Yep. But yes, please do not ignore any problems or feelings that you might have. Go confront them with somebody trained and not your buddy who took that one psychology class in college.
Yeah.
Which is essentially what we're doing here.
Yep, the magic equivalent. So Wyrd probably gives Songbird a call, or did she actually just say she's going to and does it ever?
No, I would give Songbird a call. Yeah, I would give Songbird a call. Yeah. So, Songbird, you there?
Yeah, probably in the middle of a bunch of metal slapping sounds and
Metal slapping sounds like that. Yeah, heavy forging equipment and stuff.
yeah,
Okay.
raging fires.
Bad time. Call me when you get a chance.
All right.
I'll go hang out at Leaf Theater and drink some mana.
Cool.
Yep.
I've been burning it a little crazy today.
I think there's just one in there.
We've got some in the.
Yeah, there's some of the report
Yeah.
too. Yeah. Which once we work out Network's character sheet, there may be even more.
Maybe more.
Because he's got
Or more
Maris.
sanctum dots.
Yeah, he's got points to put into Sanctum, and I have to remember that. So
More sanctum dots. Let me pick some things.
yes.
Right now, it has a safe place.
So cool. So at that little kind of pin there, was there anything Atratus was up to, Ash?
At this point, not really. I wanted to. Well, we're not really together. I was gonna bring up Factory's offer, which was, "Fuck this guy. We'll just do it better."
Okay. I mean, and we can fast forward to later that night. Though Songbird back at the smithy, was there anything specifically, or it was just a very concentrated effort of I'm putting the time in, I am here, I am working? Or...
I mean, I think it's a little bit of both.
Okay.
Like it's talking over like creation and matter and stuff with Colossus.
Sure.
Trying to get Pip to say something, like feel out her response to everything that's happened recently.
Oh, okay.
Without like,
we're not exactly great at it. But let's have Songbird roll manipulation plus. Hang on here. Oh, let an eye! How useful of a character sheet you are, because I can just pull it up and look at stuff. I would probably go with either socialize, trying to basically kind of get her to like loosen up and just a little chatty, or being straight up persuasion of just hey, what's up? But either way, it'll be tied to manipulation because you're trying to be a little more subtle
for sure.
to it.
I was even thinking empathy.
Yeah, I'd like
understanding.
that too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, since you're trying to feel her out and get what her opinion on stuff is.
Throw willpower at it.
Cool. Yeah. Especially talking with her, and there's a lot of sidestepping the conversation because very quickly you realize Colossus doesn't even know about the vampire stuff. Right. It is very restricted down to basically the three of them, the counselors and hierarch and stuff like that. And
I'm so far above my pay grade.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It is.
It explains they were pissed that you brought it up.
Yeah, like this is stuff that you're not even really supposed to be talking about. And now Network and Titus know, who are like, Network is brand new and Titus is a sleepwalker. Like, as far as the hierarch is concerned, like, dude, you're talking to the help, really?
Wow, that's so
dude, the hierarch is is that kind of silver.
These guys are gonna fuck around and make me join the free council. That's not how this works.
No, it's not.
No.
But no, that said, talking with her, kind of chatting and like kind of dancing around the whole conversation. But because you're chatting there with Colossus, Pip straight up tells you that like, I like you and I get where you're going with this stuff, but she's not, to put it in common parlance, she likes you, she thinks you're great, she's not going to risk her job.
Right.
They're in, kind of emphasizes that there's a hierarchy that the Arrow cling to. We need it because, we are, the hand, the arm, the sword arm of the Concilium. And, everybody needs to be working in its parts and, together and stuff like that. And everybody has a role to play. And especially within like...
But you also can't just say, I'm doing this because it's my orders.
And like, especially if you put it that way,
you have to have a line.
Just following orders is
and that is down to each soldier.
You're right. I
think that's like a good way to phrase it without being like completely like insubordinate.
Right.
Like,
yeah. And
like that actually is like part of Arrow philosophy.
Right. Yeah. Do not serve an individual, serve a cause, I believe is the exact line.
Right.
And she nods. She's like, you're right, especially like I said, if you put it that way. And she says, but for now, at least, and kind of looks at Colossus, the project that we're working on, I'm with Red Dread on this. If we need to take different steps.
This one's good.
Okay. But I understand where you're coming from. Red Dread can be hard to work with. He's, I don't want to say set in his ways because that has a whole other connotation to it, but
because he's old.
Because he's old, but he's very opinionated. He's very he said, and she says, if looks at Colossus again, if he were, given another choice way back when, I wouldn't be surprised if the Praetorians picked him up. We have him, he's ours.
Sure.
Pip straight up says, he's our Mace Windu. Oh, wait, never mind. But he's,
wait, is he the one with the purple?
He's the one with the purple, yes. Pats your shoulder,
yeah.
you
I
get
like
a gold
that
star.
Guy. He's cool. I saw a clip of him on YouTube.
Yeah. Does Pip, yeah. Never mind. Pip was going to make a dig about seeing a clip of you on YouTube too, but no, this say, but he's our Mace Windu. He's our terrible, powerful badass.
Sure.
And
I mean, but the whole line between us and the Praetorians, like that goes for every one of us,
right? And
I mean that is through a mirror darkly,
right. And, they're for the sake of the aether go I, yeah.
Right. Which is why, when I mentioned our visitor earlier, that I'm so concerned about it.
Right. Colossus is over here working, just watching you guys kind of talk back and forth. And I imagine you guys are both like supporting Colossus's work. And he's like, what the hell is going on? But it's like, whatever. They're having conversation. I'm in my oblation. I'm just getting mana back, man. Yeah, I when this is over, maybe we have another conversation with Red Dread. Maybe we turn to the whole caucus and not just our little concilium segment of it.
Yeah.
Because here it's Moonkeeper, myself, and Red Dread. But we're the big push and shove.
Sure.
But within the rest of concilium, the other Thunderbolt Guardians.
Masters.
Yeah, the other masters. We may sway him, or maybe even suggest he step down.
Wow.
I'm just saying if
that's Pip saying this?
And that's Pip saying that. And it's more Colossus at this point stops and goes, okay, hang on. And Pip's like, no, we're not like, this isn't a coup.
We're not plotting. No,
right.
No.
But, if he's, if there's others.
Doing that under his roof would be the worst idea.
A terrible idea. She's like, if there are others who are having a problem with him, and if nothing else, he's having very hands-on interactions with concilium politics, which he really shouldn't.
Sure.
So I appreciate him being so involved in our concilium, but there's an entire caucus that deserves his attention. So if nothing else, we bring it up with the other Thunderbolt Guardians and suggest that he spread his attention elsewhere, because I'm sure they probably are missing his guidance and his hand. Because
Boston, Philadelphia,
Philly, yeah. So if nothing else, we can maybe play this a bit more subtly. I know that's not your thing, but yeah. Yeah. Colossus kind of looks up and says, I mean, he lets me run the armory, so I don't have a problem with him, but it would be nice if the armory was ours again, and kind of looks at Pip, instead of his personal playground.
Yeah.
So, but Pip says, I mean, we're not kicking any beehives right now. So,
not until I've got more life to make the bees.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
Stick to boxing, man. Stand up is not your thing.
The only joke here, I don't know.
Like, there's this long just silence and just look from Pip. Right. So I'm hoping, especially with El Dorado, and Colossus does not flinch at that. He had clearly heard about this at this point.
I imagine almost everyone has.
At least within the elder statesman level of mages, the ones who...
The little newbies probably not.
Right, yeah.
But,
except for Network. Yeah, but...
but everybody else, yeah. This is some high-tier gossip.
Yep. With El Dorado being a thing, and it being claimed by the Concilium, and I know Red Dread probably wants to get the whole caucus involved. And so that's probably going to be a thing, and maybe we use that to push him to the other Conciliums and the rest of the caucus. And yeah. Because I know Moonkeeper loves him to death.
Right.
But Moonkeeper doesn't...
I have no read on him.
He and Red Dread are like this. I don't know why. There's definitely something in their past. I don't know if it has to do with Moonkeeper's awakening. I don't know if he's seen some vision. But yeah, the two of them are, to be blunt, I'm pretty sure the only reason Moonkeeper is here in the Concilium is because Red Dread wanted him here in New York. I don't know that he has any real ties. And I know he's on the council because Red Dread put pressure on Sun and Winter to put him on the council.
Yeah.
So there's some stuff going on there. I'm not aware of it.
Would it be Ghost to just say, fuck that guy, by the way?
Moonkeeper?
No.
Sun and Winter.
Oh, I mean, he's kept the entire Concilium together for,
Sure.
Several decades of mystical drought.
Sure. Something to be said for that, but...
Yeah. For the longest time, this was just the Concilium was basically just a stopping point for the Athenaeum. And now it's a little bit more... The Free Council loves it here because it's New York City.
It's fucking New York,
right.
Yeah. What are you going to do about it?
But, yeah. So the Guardians are here to keep an eye on the Mysterium. The Adamantine Arrow are here to, serve the rest of us. And the Silver Ladder are trying to peddle influence with the upper crust of New York City to try and make New York City into a new Atlantis. Oh, wait. We saw... Well,
yeah, they seem to be doing so well with the vampires and the seers.
Right. So
all of which are my neighbors.
Yeah. I feel like there's a whole Sisyphean task going on here. Do you get that reference?
That's the Greek one, right?
Yeah, that's the Greek one.
Yes.
With the rock.
The one.
Yeah, the
Look,
one.
It's a guy that lifts heavy things. I got that one.
Right, that's fair. But there, I mean, it's this unending task that I wonder if El Dorado or some other discovery is going to be the thing that lets us get the rock to the top of the hill, and we actually see a Concilium that's got a focus.
Maybe it's these fucking grimoires.
I mean, there's a little part of me that hopes. I also hope that, they, have some sign to ascension and we just get off this rock. But that's kind of beyond my ken. And, I haven't sworn it off. I know Red has. But Red, I think, is more interested in arc mastery of spirit.
Interesting.
So I'm wondering if that might be the real reason he's after El Dorado. Some thing there, but regardless, now I'm turning into a gossip. Colossus.
It's because I've got a good smile.
Sure. Though it does seem less than when I
That's good.
first messed you.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
actually, Colossus.
Angels will do that.
Colossus heard that story. Who was he?
Angels will do that.
Interesting. I would have thought that angels would have put a smile
And
on.
I'll bust out some fucking sweet kung fu moves.
Yes. But yeah, Pip at that point, like when she realizes that she's getting gossipy, says, "I'll let you two work. I really don't need to be here for that," and kind of moves off. And Colossus kind of looks and says, "Moving and shaking, huh?"
A lot of moving.
Okay, well, just remember I'm your mentor and I'm, your boss and stuff.
That's why I'm here. Let's talk about some matter.
That's true. And so, yeah, you guys start to work.
I'm going to fuck it up with some forces.
And yeah, notably, when he says that, there's definitely a wry, he's not interested in being some heavy-handed mentor or anything like that. Right. And you guys basically, especially compared to when you first met Colossus, way back when he gave you...
He's a chatty fucking Kathy now.
Yeah. When you start talking, and especially because you probably clue him in on Jimmy's walking stick, his cane, the gun.
The gun.
Mm-hmm.
It's hey, I fit a whole Valkyrie in that clip.
I feel like there was another thing that you'd made.
The pen.
Mm-hmm. Right, that was short term, but yeah, that's right. Yeah, and so yeah, you guys kind of chat back and forth about stuff, and yeah, have a bit of mentor.
Actually, I think I would have brought some of my plans.
Oh, the big plans.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you tell him about Hadromiel being involved in that too, or to that degree, or just this is an idea I've got?
Yeah, this is an idea I've got.
Gotcha. Yeah. So he sits over and has
that there are boons to be granted from the supernal that could be put to use in what we do.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And
I start unrolling really I think it's probably in a small poster tube.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a drawing of a sword and shield.
Cool. Kind of outside of your normal realm of stuff, but then starts to look at the markings and arcane design. Oh damn.
Yeah. It's going to be a big one.
If you do it, you live on in legend. If you do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But this is what we talked about the first time we talked, when I said there's something in my head. I need you to help me get it out.
Yup. Okay. Okay, well, yeah, let's start talking basics at least, and moves into especially talk of not just perfected metals, but the alloys, and all the fun shit that does.
Yeah,
cool. Atratus and Wyrd. Any other stuff for the night.
That's kind of, I think, all I had.
When you're a group at the evening, I do want to tell everyone about my chat with Factory, and
Right. Yeah, so
I guess we gather up for dinner or whatever.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's fine.
So, Factory's going to look into Abaddon specifically, see if she can tell us anything about him. In the meantime, she did offer to just do better than whatever he had offered us in exchange for killing him, I guess.
What did he offer us?
To come with us
Help.
and help us.
Sure.
And also deal with the bound. So,
and yeah,
if we would-
basically offered to be a guide, knows
Yeah.
the land, and has, not inconsiderable arcane might.
Sure.
So I don't know if she made that offer before she knew what he had offered, so I don't know
Right.
if she's willing to, send her own free council people with us or no. Alternately,
I doubt it.
to back us up, let us make our oaths with him, go along. Meanwhile, they will watch our backs, essentially, to see if he does double-cross us, or to see if he has other seers waiting to get us, even though he himself might not.
Call me overly paranoid, but if she made an offer without knowing what was involved first, then her offer is more about fucking with him than helping us.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
And that's free council to a T.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody else doesn't like the Seers. Free council is actively fuck Seers.
Yeah,
No, yeah,
this guy can go fuck himself. For sure. But
I think I like the second option of the free council sort of backing us up. I mean,
Yeah.
how would you guys feel about them possibly killing this dude once we finish what we're doing?
well, once we're finished,
Because they won't be bound to our oaths. We can
Once the
stop
oaths
them
are
if
done,
they chose to.
they're done.
You got to be careful because we're going to be swearing oaths too. That's how that's going to work.
We are.
Yeah, but
Sure. But once the oaths are done, they're done.
We're
yeah.
not swearing loyalty to a
But
seer
the free
forever.
council having our back means that we can focus more on
And be more comfortable with the fact
maybe
that
not even people that are following him, but we know
the Panopticon wants it.
Panopticon wants it, is actively trying to get it too.
I understand all that, but I think if you swear an oath, knowing that you've got a loophole, that there's going to be repercussions.
You do that. You have straight up said multiple times that you can get out of any oath.
But I also know that there's often repercussions to doing that. It's not a get out of jail free card.
I mean, it's also not a loophole.
Yep. And the main thing being is what you guys agree to.
If we keep the oath as stated, we're not breaking anything.
Right. Which
The
is,
oath doesn't continue after whatever we said its endpoint at.
Right. And that is 100% Wyrd will know. That's why you're very specific on what
How you
the
word
oath
them.
said. Yep.
Yeah.
And duration and
Mhm.
I'm not swearing to never hurt this dude. Just, that's not on the
Yeah.
table.
fuck all that.
Also, that our common enemy is probably Mammon,
Great.
which,
Or Graves. Graves didn't have mine.
oh, no, Graves wasn't a Mystigos as far as we know.
Was he?
We didn't see him do any mind magic. To us, he did Prime.
Yeah, I thought he needed somebody else to do that.
I mean, we didn't see any of the things that went down with Cynthia.
Right.
That's not a thing that we as characters know. Out
Sure.
of character, we know that he wasn't doing it, she was.
Yeah, but in character, we know that we believe that he used possession, which is a high level mind spell.
That one you definitely know because we talked about, I can't remember who you spoke with, but they talked about the profane Urim that lets him
right.
possess any seer
Right.
that he
Right,
has
right,
any
right.
kind of, or any sleeper he has any kind of connection to.
So
Okay.
here's the thing.
Anyway, Seattle was the key point there.
For me, I think if we're setting this guy up, like putting him on a tee for the Free Council to knock him off. How are we any better than them?
Do you think he's not doing the same thing to us?
I don't know that he's doing the same thing.
Do
We're
you
better
trust
than
him?
him because we're not trying to
Increase war in
demoralize the
the
entire
world.
world
Yeah.
and increase war. And
We're not trying to cause chaos and strife and bring the world to the brink of war.
Not every Guardian is drunk the Kool-Aid. Not every seer is.
Torian?
Not every Praetorian is drunk the Kool-Aid. He might just be a guy doing a job. Admittedly, a shitty job, trying to make the world a worse place.
Just trying to do his job.
Didn't we just have this conversation back at the end
About
of
just
D&D?
following orders.
Yeah, but that's it. Songbird had that conversation. But yeah. And
All seers are bastards.
yeah, now let me be 100% clear. As a storyteller, the question of to kill a seer or not is supposed to be a question of morality and integrity and stuff like that. So like there is not a right answer here in terms of both canon and what your characters know. So
point B, scoreboard.
That's for you. For me, it's more that I do not trust them to not cross us. I might trust him if he makes his oath, but I don't believe that he has our well-being in heart. Like,
No, absolutely, he doesn't have our well-being at heart.
and I don't think there's anything to stop anyone he might have told about this from showing up to snatch the grimoire from us and kill us.
I've said my concerns. I will follow whichever way you guys want to go.
Well, it's not about following, it's just about coming to a consensus.
Network kind of leans in and says, and I know that the grown-ups are talking here, but I know, I know.
I stop on
but
network. You remember.
I know, but you're the ones with the experience. But my 2 cents, you make the O's, you go through with it, and I know I'm going to sound like a silver ladder asshole, but we go by the Lex Magica, right? The whole reason the Concilium works is because everyone follows the rules, and we say that we are above things, and the whole reason as a pentacle is because we follow these rules. So we just don't pull a trigger until he threatens us, well, you guys, with harm. He has to cross the line first.
That's what I'm saying.
We're not Han Solo.
Prepare
I
for
am
the
putting
worst,
all the
but-
Star Wars references into
Yeah.
this. Sorry.
Prepare for the worst, but we're not pulling a trigger until there's clear reason to.
Right. And I mean, being prepared,
Or a clear shot.
getting factory, involved, and, have the Free Council know, and, have, like I heard, what happened in Linwood Hall. You guys put yourselves in harm's way, and then if, shit goes sideways, there's backup, and, maybe stuff doesn't, and maybe he behaves himself, we behave ourselves, and everybody calls it even.
Yeah. My only thing about that is that, well, we can't really control what the Free Council folks do. But
No.
I do like having someone watching our back.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, you're right. We can't control what the Free Council does, but the Rookery can go by the rules, and and maybe we even be straight with them and tell them that we have backup, and that if it kind of shows your hand. I don't know, but at least we're it's like you buy a lock to keep honest people honest. Like we tell them, hey, yeah, we're up for this. We'll say these O's, but we have friends who are not bound to O's who are keeping an eye on us. and just lay it out for him. I'm sure. I mean, I doubt he's even amongst the Praetorian. I doubt he's just the one guy, right?
Mhm.
He's got buddies or
He's got friends.
sleepwalkers or some sleepers that are, some cult of, I'm sure he's got somebody. So, but that's my 2 cents.
True.
And then also having backup in case we run into the Panopticon as well.
Right. And if the Panopticon shows up, then, we go guns
No one's
blazing.
down against them.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, heck, this Abaddon guy might join us. And because, I mean, I'll be honest, if
Did
I
they
were
fight each other, like, physically?
yeah.
Okay.
When, similar to the way, vampires, we totally don't fight. We're all just vampires here together. And they totally do in the back alleys. Yeah. And I mean, I'll be honest, if I were in his shoes and the Panopticon shows up, I throw a couple punches and be like, I wasn't involved. It was all those Pentacle guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
And pin it on us.
Them
And
dirty hits in while the ref's not looking.
Yep.
Yeah.
You never did that, did you, Songbird?
What? No.
Okay.
I was talking more about wrestling.
Oh, yeah. Right. Okay, I'm with you. Cool. And with that dinner time conversation, as Titus is, passing stuff around and being like, nope, above my pay grade, we kind of end the night with
Time just to tie a bow on it.
uh-huh.
Songbird, do you want to? I need to do a little soul reforging. Sort of
When you say it like that, I mean,
do some editing, I guess. Atratus was going to give me a hand. I didn't want you to feel left out. I didn't think it would be it's kind of navel gazy. But
Is that what y'all did today?
no, we're going to be doing it.
Oh, okay. Well, here's what I did today. Fucking sunlight blade.
You actually made it?
Yeah.
A blade
I mean,
made of
technically-
sunlight.
Practice one.
yeah. Well, it's more
It is an actual weapon that has
the properties of
sun
light.
into it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not an actual lightsaber, but
It's like a glowing sword.
Yeah.
yep.
Big old crusader looking thing.
Uh, That'd be pretty effective.
Yeah.
I feel like you were way more
Yeah.
productive than we were today.
Well,
You
I
guys
won't tell
made
you about the rest of my day then.
Yeah. So cool. And yeah, with that, it is 9:00. So yeah, tying that with a little bow. Next week, we dive into Wyrd and Oneiros. And we're gonna try something a little different we haven't done on the stream before. What are we doing? I don't know. Well, I do know, but you don't know.
I know.
Yeah, we all know, except you guys. But we're gonna try something different. I think it's gonna be fun. I think it'll be kind of interesting.
Fun's a choice of word.
So we'll see how that goes. And like I said, Monday we should have polls up to help make Network's character sheet. This is basically what he's going to be as he kind of learns and stuff like that. Because Songbird gave him
Gets
the awesome
trained up and
cane,
everything.
to help him learn stuff. So he's going to be getting lots of arcane beats to put into Arcana, and he's got a bunch of different teachers, except for Spirit. He's going to have to go talk to Oceans for that. But because of that, we'll see where he progresses. It's not like we're going to snap his fingers and all of a sudden he's got, 6 Arcana and all this other stuff. But he's got some growth to make and clearly needs, at least a couple more dots of mind or one more dot of mind so he can actually do a supernal summoning. Whoops.
Yes.
Check that out. That'll be on Patreon, which is staylucky.club. Patrons will have access to everything. Everybody else should have access the way I'm going to set it up with about half of the stuff. We'll leave, I think, Arcana and merits and specialties maybe to patrons. That'd be cool. And then, of course, come join us on Discord. That is yeet into .space. And that'll take you right to our Discord. You can come join us, talk about what you've seen, laugh at our mistakes. You can tell us that we got rules wrong, and we'll go, shoot, you're right, and we're just going to keep going. But we will know better for the next time. It only took us 50 episodes to get Scouring right. I still am greatly amused at that. And then we've got places where you guys can share about your own stories. We want to hear about your chronicles, your D&D games. Tell us about playing Monster Hearts, powered by the
Tell us
Apocalypse.
about your vampires' horrible decisions.
Yes.
Post pictures about burbs.
Post your burbs.
And a whole chat for memes and dumb stuff. And yeah, we're here for you guys. You can come join us, hang out, and join all the other Rookery, the Occultists. I don't know. There's no good name, not Michaels. Anyway,
Come join the Michaels.
Come join the Michaels. Yeah, whatever. So yeah, we will see you guys next week.
Stay lucky.